see so deep, endless hours, no sleep.
Hello, vampires, and welcome to Mystic Falling, a recap podcast of CW's The Vampire Diaries from two elder millennial women who have never watched the show before. I'm Beth Elderkin.
And I'm Abbey Kindler.
And today we're talking about Season 1, Episode 3, Friday Night Bites. The second in a, again, recurring theme of jokey pun titles. Family Ties is coming up next week, and I know that's like the title of a TV show, I think. So
Yeah, for sure.
like they're just kind of ripping off names of other media right now.
This, as far as I'm concerned, and this is not a knock on the show, but the whole show is just a rip off everything. This is just one big rip off the title, the title of the episodes, all of the sheer volume of brooding going on is just pulled straight out of basically any other vampire media, but yeah, I love it. I think it's great. It's one of those things where you're realizing that they're taking it super seriously, but not that seriously.
So we have already talked about episodes 1 and 2. If you have not listened to those previous episodes, you are welcome to go back and listen to our archive. We're only on episode 3, so it's not hard to get caught up at this point. Our extensive archive.
Our backlog of two episodes.
And where we are at this point is Elena and Stefan have met. They've kissed. They've made out in her dreams as of this episode. Damon gets creepy and does more creepiness. And the brother's doing drugs. The aunt is around. Vicky's around. Bonnie's around. They're all around. There's a lot of subplots going on right now. There's fewer in this episode, though.
There's fewer, but there's a lot of staring and brooding and a lot of creeping around. Like the entire opening sequence goes on for so long.
Oh my God. Well, let's go ahead and we're going to do a brief synopsis of this episode before we talk about some of our standout moments and a few little extra tweaks behind the scenes and other more in-depth lore explorations. So this episode aired September 24th, 2009, and it starts with an escape or an attempted escape. Caroline in a completely different lingerie set.
Yeah, I want to just imagine that she carries different lingerie sets with her. She's that girl, and I love that for her.
Yeah, but that one looks even less comfortable to sleep in.
Oh, it's lingerie set you wear to be seen in, not to be comfortable in, because, again, we are two elder millennials. I used to be I'll never wear flannel pajamas. Hey guys, flannel pajamas rule. You can't always sleep in a teddy, okay? We're not all 20 anymore. So, yeah, but she is, and she can do whatever she wants and carry as many teddies and lingerie sets as she wants it's the early 2000s. Her bag is the size of a Volkswagen Beetle. She can carry anything she wants in them.
She's also underage. Let's not forget.
Let's not forget that. He's so not underage.
Yeah, that moment where Elena goes, "You're not much older than me." I'm like, that is not true in so many ways. Yeah, so Caroline wakes up. She's got a bite on her neck. Oh, no. There's like a little bit of blood on the pillow, and that's it. That's an overall question I have is how come a bite doesn't just result in it just keeps coming? Is it like a mosquito thing? Do they coagulate it? Like, how is it not just still going out? I don't want to be too graphic.
I don't want to be too graphic, she says, spurting out the side of her neck.
I just don't want to say it, because if I say it, then I'll get queasy.
I understand, but I think you took an odd choice of just continually doing this, saying, does it just keep coming? Does it just keep coming? This is why
you have to watch the YouTube video.
There's a lot of gesticulation with this one. I would assume that anything that was emitting from, now I'm worried to say words, anything coming from the wound, I think is being ingested, obviously, by her bed partner. I assume, I want to say it's Twilight, but maybe I'm thinking of a different vampire lore. It might be True Blood, but there's like lore built into how they close up wounds. So I assume the healing properties that we learn about in this episode extend to their prey a little bit. If they want to keep themselves a little bloody, I about to say bloody concubine, and I feel like that's not the right
She is a blood slave. He is
Yes.
compelling her. He is controlling her. She is being trafficked by this person.
By this, yes, she is not a willing participant in this.
No.
And again, one of the series that I read is the Mercy Thompson series by Patricia Briggs. They describe vampires as having willing. They call them sheep, which makes it even funnier, but they're willing. They're part of the family and they're well aware of what they're giving up for it. So like, I prefer that angle as opposed to being compelled and having your memories wiped while you wear a hickey scarf and no one calls you on it.
Well, Stefan does.
Well, Stefan does because he knows what's under there,
Yeah.
but any 17-year-old worth their salt sees you suddenly show up in a scarf when you don't wear scarves.
You have a hickey.
Hickey, you have a hickey. What's that? And then they try to steal it. It's a whole thing. Teenagers are the worst.
So while Caroline is being manipulated and controlled by Damon, we also go to school where a couple things happen. First, Stefan and the teacher get into a history battle. Then we also have Elena. She's trying to convince Stefan to join the football team so that he'll fit in. And the teacher has the weirdest line. He's like, go on the field just so I can see you fall on your ass. Like, this teacher is a horrible teacher, but he's not our problem anymore.
No, I do like the idea of being like, making us all morally gray as the watchers, being like, oh, well, this guy sucked anyway, so I guess we don't care.
It's not a Graham situation where the first major death is one that is, what you say?
Yeah. It's not heartbreaking for 7 further seasons where we're clamoring for him to be brought back. But yeah, this guy, first of all, I'm obsessed with the fact that they not only made him the history teacher, but also the football coach, which is all very true to life. Yes. Wonderful. And if I had to guess about this teacher, as I speculate about a character we'll never have to talk about again, he's going through that thing where he used to be a cool teacher and now he's getting older. And so he's not a cool teacher anymore and everyone's starting to treat him different and he's weird and acting out because that was the vibe I was getting. So,
well, we also have Bonnie who is still having her visions. She is all of a sudden total 180 on Stefan because she got a vibe from him where he felt like death. Or something.
Like
all very vague. And she has this whole thing where she's seeing the numbers 8, 14, 22. Oh no, our girl's into numerology. This is not a good sign. She's going Q-pilled, guys. We got to pull her out. Got to pull her back.
Put the birth chart down, Bonnie.
Elena decides to host a dinner with Bonnie and Stefan. Aunt Jenna is nowhere to be seen in this episode. She does not exist. She has disappeared off the face of the earth. Elena's ordered takeout, but she puts it in nice bowls. Like that Bonnie calls her out on it. But then I also found it extremely funny how Bonnie's oh no moment was knowing where birthday candles are. Oh my God.
There's birthday candles in a junk drawer. I can see the future. I'm obsessed with Bonnie as a character because she's written as kind of like the whatever she needs to be in this moment. But because she has such a powerful hook of my family is from Salem and I'm a wee bit psychic, it just keeps on that edge of being like, she's this friend and you can't really get a beat on her, but she has a very strong through line that she kind of comes back and forth on. She's either pretty sure she's psychic or I don't want to talk about it. It's not like a big deal. God, the birthday candles. I know where the ladle is. It's there.
Well, the dinner is extremely awkward. No one's talking. No one's having a good time. But apparently Bonnie did, because later on she told Elena that she's totally turned the corner on Stefan because of that dinner. I'm like, what happened during that dinner? I never saw you two interact in a pleasant way.
Genuinely, I think we're supposed to believe that because Stefan said, oh, witches from Salem, a bunch of powerful queens. We love them. We stand them. And she was like, I love him. He spoke highly of my family. And honestly, cool. To be fair, she turned on him because she had a little bit of a vibe from him. It makes sense that she'd turn on him or turn back around just as easily.
A little book thing I'll throw in here because it's not the main focus that I'm going to talk about in the book comparison. The note that Stefan makes about the Celtic Druids coming to the area, that's an Easter egg for the books because in the books, Bonnie is descended from Celtic Druids, and that's a whole thing.
Understood.
Salem witches are not a part of it at all. So that was just a little Easter egg for the readers. I appreciated it.
I did appreciate that. It does make sense, though, because for CW, Salem Witches is going to get more of your audience as opposed to when I thought it was so far left field of being like, I can't believe they just said Celtic Druids on a CW show. This is amazing. So that makes sense as to like being like, I was like, what a pull.
The dinner is crashed by Damon and Caroline. Caroline's got her skinny scarves, 2000s and the skinny scarves.
The skinny scarves.
I'm surprised this scarf was able to disguise the wound because we saw how big it was. It wasn't just blood remnants. It's not just puncture marks. He like chewed on her neck.
Yeah, and that's where I kind of get from, like, again, to kind of explain it away a little bit of, I just assume that it's healing faster. Just as like a cover up of just being like, well, our bite marks heal faster if you leave them alive. Lore, something about lore, but we both know it's because there's not actually makeup under there. So
yeah, because Vicky still has that big bandage and she has more of an injury underneath. But also that's from the pilot, and you can't, a lot of stuff from a pilot you have to take with a grain of salt because they're going to change so much immediately after. Case in point with the character of Matt, which we'll get into. Elena makes the huge mistake of inviting Damon inside. Caroline basically shows that she's been compelled not to take the scarf off, which gave me very much like Purple Man vibes from Jessica Jones. It was very unsettling. Because the villain in that first season, like, he could tell you to do something and you would do it no matter how horrible it was. And you could tell that she was freaking out inside. Like, there's got to be some part of her that is aware of what's happening, which I thought was interesting. The actress is doing a very good job at showing terror inside innocent eyes.
Inside innocent eyes and a personality that does not want to show weakness. Because she is all princess, the queen of everything. She's queen bee. She's going to do that. So when she reaches for a piece of information that doesn't exist, I mean, that's on like a top 5 terror for me. Like, if I reach for information that I should have and it just simply doesn't exist, like that, no. When your brain starts betraying you that fundamentally, and so she's just like, no, hold on. I guess I'm just not going to take it off. I'm just going to sit here and panic for a little bit quietly, and then be super sassy when Damon tries to get me to leave the room.
She's already pissing Damon off.
She's like, girl, I don't do dishes. I don't make food. I sit here and be pretty. Look at me. And he has to compel her to leave. Obsessed.
Yeah. But everything culminates in the homecoming because Stefan has wowed everybody with his football skills. Even when Tyler tried to sabotage him, which was surprising to me because you'd think Matt would have been the one to try and sabotage him, but there's a very clear reason for that. So, yay, the homecoming. Everyone talks about how much their football team sucks, but they have hope for the future because now Stefan's on the team. I can't get over how stupid he looks in the football jersey.
Okay. They all look stupid. Nothing fits. All their helmets are a little too big. All their pads are a little too high as well. So whenever they put the helmets on, they lose their necks completely. So they just look like toddlers. It's hysterical. Like, I couldn't stop laughing. And also, like, nothing about them is distinctive. Like, they don't have names or anything. So while I'm watching the football cutscenes and stuff, you have no idea who is who. Like, at all, in any way, shape, or form.
Which was so weird to me. You'd think that they would have at least put Stefan in maybe a different colored practice jersey. Because, you know, he doesn't have gear. So he would just be in like a practice orange jersey or something. So you could easily tell him apart and know he's doing a good job.
Yeah. Like, we put the rookie in the pink jersey. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they do something in order you have to be able to stand him out. Or you have to wear this bright yellow helmet, like, so you can always be seen. But also, his moment of, like, getting dunked on was catching the ball and being tackled. He still made the catch. He just got tackled. That's how football goes.
But it was a hard tackle. It really wasn't. That was a regular TV show tackle.
But yeah, no, he's so good at football. And now that he joined the team Thursday, Friday night, we're going to win the big game. We're going to win the big game. Uh-oh.
Yes.
Bar fight.
Oh, yeah. Because Justin, the brother, is there. He and Tyler are still fighting over Vicky. I am so tired of this storyline, and we're only 3 episodes in. I cannot wait for these characters to either go their separate ways to the wider green pasture or give them different storylines, which I think happens. I think I know what happens with Vicky, but I'm not going to say anything.
Okay. I do appreciate that they're giving us, like, they're drawing us in with Stefan and Damon having this love triangle with Elena, and it's this cool, sexy, mysterious love triangle. But because life gives with both hands, they're also giving us a love triangle that no one wants, no one likes, and sucks. They're like, hey, you want a love triangle? You get one of both. Life must be balanced.
I will give them one thing. They did fix Justin's hair.
True, they did fix Justin's hair.
They swooped it back instead of having the emo pointy stick super gel moment, and I did appreciate that. So yeah, so we had that fight there. Stefan intervenes to end the fight. He gets a huge gash on his hand from a bottle, from a broken bottle.
From a broken bottle.
Huge thing. Immediately heals. Elena freaks out, and she goes to Bonnie to be like, hey, this weird thing happened. And that's where Bonnie's like, it's death, and I see these numbers, and I'm a psychic. And, blah. And afterward, Damon tries to compel Elena to kiss him. But she has a necklace on that Stefan gave her with, I think, is it called Wolfsbane?
It wasn't Wolfsbane. It's like Vervain. Hold on. Vervain.
I do know that word. I think that's an important thing in the show. Everyone who's seen the show before just like screamed at their phones like, of course it is, duh.
It's so important. You just got the first lore drop. Meanwhile, I'm on the wiki page. The tears of Isis. I see.
And apparently that blocks compelling, and she smacks him. Then he goes over to Stefan. Stefan kind of chews him out, saying, there's still humanity in you. I want you to find it. And then Damon has like a pause, a little tick in his forehead. He gets really good ticks in this episode.
Yeah.
Like his vulnerable ticks right here in the forehead. I spotted them. I clocked him at least 2 or 3 times, and I was like, that's good acting.
Yeah.
It was good.
I love that he is triggered by being told he's got humanity.
Yeah.
You have humanity still in you. How dare you? How dare you speak that to me? So he kills the football coach.
He does. So first death, football coach / history teacher. Oh no. Who's going to lecture Stefan about history dates now?
Who is going to tell Elena her parents have been dead for 4 months? Who cares? Boring.
And it ends with more diary monologues. Really, honestly, I tune out during those. I don't know about you.
I don't, but that's just because the emo part of me is embracing them, because I don't know if they keep this hook the whole time, but I think it's hysterical because it's so dramatic, Beth, for no reason. Like, they make a reference to it earlier where they're like, I'm not just like a boring cemetery girl. Nothing about her says like emo cemetery girl in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't come off that way. I get that broodiness from Stefan. I don't get it from Elena, at least right now. So it's just, but yeah, no, he's just writing in his journal, Damon, his humanity is gone and lost, and he's gone and he's lost, and he blah, 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 blah. Cut to Damon having a very tender moment with a sleeping Elena, because it wouldn't be vampires if it wasn't super unsettling.
Yes. And that is the episode. Now we're going to go ahead and get into our 2 standout moments. Abbey, would you like to kick things off with your Stefan versus Mr. Dead Teacher? I don't remember. Jennings?
Mr. Dead Teacher. Mr. Tanner.
Mr. Tanner.
Mr. Tanner has decided that he doesn't like Elena in this first classroom scene because she's doodling and also whispering, like stage whispering. During the I mean, I'd give her shit about this too. Let's just be real. And so he's like, oh, could you tell me about a very specific date? And the moment she hesitates, Stefan answers.
It was Pearl Harbor, right?
Yeah, it was
the year
about
of
Pearl Harbor.
Harbor.
And he month, date, and years it. And he's like, we think we're so smart. He's like, yeah, I'm pretty good with dates and numbers. And then they have the nerdiest fight ever where he just keeps naming things and Stefan just keeps throwing out dates.
Yeah, and he's like looming over him. He kind of like is creeping closer and closer as if he's about to pounce, but he's pouncing with facts.
Yeah, and then they do the last one, and he says the Korean War, and Stefan says a number, and he's like, ha ha, you're wrong, you big dumbass, you're wrong, ha, I am truly victorious. And he's like, no, actually, Teach, you're wrong. And he goes, someone look it up. And then they look it up, and they're like, Stefan was right, and everyone claps and cheers, and it's a whole thing. And the teacher looks so defeated. He's like, I hope you die on the football field later. Everything about the scene is toxic and hysterical.
Yeah.
Because Elena is looking at Stefan like, oh my God, this is the hottest thing I've ever seen. Stefan couldn't care a bit less about anything that's happening here.
No.
He is just like, I'm just naming dates. But I think he also notices, like I said, I caught a vibe from the teacher. The teacher just seemed icky. And so maybe he was like, I must take down this man. He told my beloved that her parents being dead was enough. So this whole scene was just bad toxic teacher vibes and such a hilarious CW like dunk moment. And everyone clapped.
I thought it was weird to have this because we literally did this same thing 2 episodes ago. But also, some people just really like dates. I almost felt like this was kind of shaming Stefan for something that isn't necessarily just unique to a vampire. Does that make sense?
It does, but I think it's also I don't think it's framed in a way that's shaming Stefan. It's shaming the teacher for shaming Stefan. The teacher is shaming him for just being a smartass, which, to be fair, that's okay. Shut up. Again, to bring it to Twilight, that's just what happens in Twilight. Mr. Cullen, have you been paying attention? And then Edward just recites Shakespearean sonnets. Somewhat more impressive than just knowing when Pearl Harbor happened.
Yeah, but they can't copy paste Twilight exactly. They got to change
I'm sure they could if they tried.
Bit.
Nah. Just do the exact same thing. I'm sure it would be fine. So yes, I really enjoyed the scene, mostly because I realized that was the death keel for the teacher. That was we're going to kill this guy.
Let's give him one more moment of humiliation before
we have to humiliate him. We don't want the fans to be upset about this death. Not yet. Yeah. We're not ready for an upsetting death. You must think he deserves it.
Well, my standout moment is actually going to be the scene in the kitchen between Elena and Damon.
Yes.
And kind of also leaning into the second scene that they have. Because what I really liked about this scene, both scenes really, was one, their chemistry is so much better than Elena and Stefan.
Oh, for sure.
And I've been told that is not a unique opinion. That's a very widely shared opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Because also Stefan is just kind of a dweebus.
Mm-hmm.
And Damon is dangerous and cool. And he's the bad boy who's sensitive, maybe. But what I loved about this scene, about both scenes, was Elena immediately clocking him on his shit. Yeah. She sees through him, honestly, in a way that Stefan can't even. Stefan says, I know there's a good person in there. Mm-hmm. Elena looks at him and goes, you are also in love with that woman. Also, you put on this whole facade, and I can see right through it. Don't try that with me. And I'm also not Catherine. Leave me alone. She puts a dagger through him. And I like how it's just her being her.
Yeah, and I do like that she has just different relationships with both of them. Mm-hmm. Because she has, with Stefan, it's just this innate attraction. They can talk about their journaling together and things like that. But again, her and Damon have this chemistry that exists almost in spite of who they are. Mm-hmm. They're sparring, almost enemies to lovers situation. And I like it. I like the energy, and I like that he's trying to do all his tricks. It doesn't work. And she's just like, yeah, whatever's happening here, no thank you. Not buying what you're selling. And he's just like, oh my God, she's so pretty. She's so pretty.
And I do appreciate how it's not entirely cool girl.
Yeah.
This could have very well fallen into cool girl tropes where the girl is too cool for the whole situation and she sees right through him.
I think it's a character trait of her because of everything she's been through.
Mm.
I would say that having a deep trauma that happens very recently, like you start rating people a little bit better and you just have a little less time for the BS.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just one of those, Stefan's not coming at her with BS. He's just being cool and mysterious and paying attention to her, and that's what she needs right now. Damon's just trying to get into her personal space, and she'll allow it, but she's not going to allow him to lie to her.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, if you're going to talk to me, you can talk to me real stuff. Because he's like, you don't need to be a cheerleader. And she's like, I kind of like being a cheerleader, but I get what you're saying. Maybe don't be a dick about it.
Yeah, don't tell me what to do. But then she does what he told her to do.
Yeah, she's like, listen, I was going to quit anyway, but the way you're saying it makes me not want to quit because you're being kind of a prick. But yeah, they have this really nice moment. And then they don't have a nice moment later. Damon has a nice moment. Elena is stalked. Elena is being stalked.
Yes. But she does get a good smack in. And that did surprise him. I think that it caught him off guard because I think that he's not used to that. He's not used to people being able to resist him, especially someone that he's clearly has a fascination with. Like I think it makes him want her more because now there's a chase involved.
There's a chase involved, and
challenge.
she's going to put up more of a fight because obviously his current girlfriend didn't fight him. She was just super into him immediately, and he's so bored immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But Elena strikes him, and he is a predator. So anyone that tries to go toe-to-toe with a predator, whether she knows he's a predator or not, he's just like, oh, you are my equal. You are also insane and want to fight. Marriage?
The last thing I want to talk about is the book comparison of the week, and we are going to talk about Matt Donovan. Let me preface this by saying, in this episode, they've, in my opinion, have totally changed Matt's character.
Okay.
He is not the same person that he was in the first 2 episodes. But I think there's a reason why. Because in the first 2 episodes, he is super jealous and possessive of Elena. He wants her back. He is extremely untrustworthy of Stefan to the point where he follows him in the hospital and suspects him of vampirism and all this stuff. Episode 3, I feel like they've given that to Tyler. I think that Tyler's going to start being that guy now. And Matt is just kind of cool. And he apologizes to Stefan and he's like, we're bros now. And before I kind of get into why I think this is happening, I wanted to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I do like this better. The jealous boyfriend thing doesn't super work for me. I'm sorry, jealous ex-boyfriend thing. But like, why change it? You know what I mean? Like, now he's like buds. I think they try to kind of explain it by, oh, well, he stuck up for the little brother, and maybe I like him a little bit better, and maybe Elena can move on now. I don't think that's what it is. I'm a little worried we're going to get to episode 4, and it's going to be more of the same of him being like, this guy sucks. But yeah, we moved it to Tyler, and Tyler does suck. That guy sucks.
He does suck. I also was surprised that Matt appreciated Stefan for sticking up for the brother when the brother is sleeping with his sister. Again, too many subplots.
But listen, that is our bread and butter, Beth. When the family tree just starts doing loop-de-loops of who's connected to whom, who's sleeping with whom, we got it all figured out.
Well, now to get into the book comparison, the reason I
Yes.
think that they have done this shift in Matt's character and why I'm theorizing that they're not going to go back, it's because in the book, Matt is super chill with Stefan like right away. Elena breaks up with him at the beginning of the book, and he is very supportive of her in it. Like, they were best friends. They tried to date. It didn't work out. She was in France after her parents' death.
Mm-hmm.
And she comes back. She breaks up with him, and he understands. And he's like, we can still be friends. They don't have that awkward ex tension to the degree that they do it in the show.
Okay.
And when Stefan comes along, Matt is the one who invites him to try out for the football team. And they become like best bros.
Aw, that's nice.
There's a little bit of rivalry in the beginning. Matt's a little bit untrustworthy, but it dissipates very fast. So I'm theorizing that they want to get to that, and they want Matt to be more of a friend, supportive figure in Elena and Stefan's life. And that I think they're going to offshoot whatever troublesome human versus vampire manly bullshit over onto
Yeah.
Tyler or Justin or both.
That does make sense. I would prefer that. As much as I like some angsty guy relationships, I really do appreciate two supportive bros.
I absolutely. I am currently rewatching Legends of Tomorrow, and I just got to the episode where there's two men, there's Nate and Ray, and they become like best friends. They're best
Okay.
bros. And one of them leaves the show and they cry and they tell each other, I love you. They hug. It's very emotionally vulnerable. And
Yeah.
I love when shows do that. I love when shows portray men's relationships as vulnerable and honest. We don't get that a lot.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
I don't think we're going to get to that point in Vampire Diaries.
You mean in this early 2000s show about vampires and love triangles, you don't think we're going to get some really vulnerable man moments? 2009 was the worst.
Yeah. All right. Well, Abby, is there anything special behind the scenes that you would like to discuss from this episode?
There were no behind the scenes cuts from this episode, unfortunately. I will just tell you again and again, I'm obsessed with watching this on DVD right now. It brings me back to a simpler time. Listening to the DVD spin up as I hit the menu button and it has to search through the CD and I hear squeaky, 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 squeak, and the very bad photoshopped art. I'll post a picture of it to our Instagram, but it's like, it doesn't look that bad, but when it's blown up on a TV that I got at Costco in 2024, it was not meant to be put up to that kind of scrutiny. It has just uncanny valley vibes to it. Like, I know these are people and I know that what they're supposed to be doing. Nothing about this looks correct. It's too big. It's too weird.
I want to see that so bad.
But yeah, let's talk fashion, because every time I watch these episodes, I just think 2009 was such a great time. I think I wore most of this clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like the necklaces being okay,
The long necklace.
Bonnie wore a necklace that I was obsessed with. It's a gold chain, but then it had these big leaf pennants on it, and then like a rock. I don't know if you clocked this like necklace that she was wearing, but I was like, what is this necklace? There's leaves on it. It's gold. It's super skinny. Looks like it could snap in the wind. And then there was just like a rock of some sort on it, like a tiger's eye or something. I don't know what it was, but it was so bizarre and I wanted it.
It's from her gran. It's got witch powers, and she just doesn't know it.
It's what's channeling all of her things. But yeah, like, and again, I love a good, like, football game day outfit. Elena killed it. She's got the jacket, she's got the top, she's got the skin. Everything fits amazing. She's so cash and just effortlessly stunning. Like, her hair, I don't understand how it works. She moves it out of her face a lot, even in her little dream moment she has where she dreams of Stefan, then he turns into Damon. The whole time she's just like pushing her hair back. And I'm like, it looks stunning every time. How do you do it? What conditioner are you using?
The blowout they give her before every episode is iconic.
Amazing.
And it just makes Bonnie's wigs look
Oh
so
my God.
trash in comparison. I feel so sorry for this actress for what they did to her appearance.
Yeah, well, they also try to do that thing where they're like, well, we don't want to give her trendy, like 2009, a trendy hair would be like a soft curl with like a chunky highlight or something like that. They like try to tease her hair and it's not right and it's dyed bad. So it's just, everything about it just looks bad, especially compared to Elena's blowout of the century.
Yes.
It's so shiny. It's like a Pantene commercial. The one red flag I threw up was when she goes into school, when Elena goes into school, like in the beginning part of the episode, she's wearing a jacket. She gets to her locker, she takes the jacket off, and she's wearing spaghetti straps with like just all shoulders and collarbone. That would have gotten stopped.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't do the spaghetti strap thing. It would have been stopped immediately. Their cheerleading outfits were also just like not made for any sort of mobility. There were no pleats. They were just like mini skirts and a top. That I was a little concerned about. And also Caroline being non-compliant.
Oh yeah, she had a scarf.
She
A
was able to
non-matching scarf.
She was allowed to like dress differently than everyone else, which again, as we talked about with the football thing, so you can see her and we have to know that she's wearing a scarf. for her bite mark. But at the same time, cheerleading is a lot like the military, and you're all supposed to be very uniform. We're all supposed to be one unit.
But she's the cheer captain. The rules don't
That,
apply.
though, do not apply to her in any way. I was obsessed with R.I.P. the football coach and his, like, tracksuit leisure suit situation.
Yeah.
Like, he wears a button down and all that other stuff to class, but when it's time for football, we're leisure suit Larry. What are we doing?
Well, don't have to worry about him anymore because he is now gone, and we have finished with season 1, episode 3, Friday Night Bites. So be sure to let us know in the comments and in the Facebook page. Let us know your standout moments from this episode. Share with us your special fashion moments. We also have an Instagram. That's instagram.com/mystic_falling. You can share images with us. We can put them on our Instagram stories. If you want to keep listening to us, you can subscribe to us on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, wherever you get the podcasts. You can watch the video version with our faces on YouTube. That is mystic_falling on YouTube as well. And next week, we're going to be back with season 1, episode 4, Family Ties. We're going to get the Founders Party, which, if I'm recalling, I think I know what happens in that episode, and we're going to have a lot to talk about.
I'm excited.
We've also got Vicky. She is over Tyler's bullshit, but she's probably not. She's probably going to be fine. She's going to forgive him. And Stefan tries to get Damon out for good.
I bet he succeeds and we never see Damon again.
Goodbye, Damon. Goodbye.
Bye, Damon.
So, Abby, any closing thoughts before we wrap this episode today?
No. Other than the fact that, again, 3 weeks in a row of me going, I don't know how this show got under my radar, got past me, because I'm enjoying this. I don't know what I would have thought about it when I was watching it in the moment, but right now in 2025, I'm having a splendid time.
Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us. We will see you next week. And in the meantime, keep the dark, keep the light. And Abby, don't take off that scarf. I'm compelling you.
I'm going to wrap my hair around my neck. You won't know anything. It's a secret.
It's super skinny.
Moon